So we went through some potential contenders. Is this team a contender? Is it not? Et cetera, et cetera. Now I just want to go cut right down the bone and say MVP. If you had to pick an MVP, or if you had to pick certain players to be MVPs this season, who would be some of your picks?
So I know the Stroud hype. Can I have an opportunity to address the Stroud?
Go ahead.
hype?
Yeah, go ahead and
Because I
address the Stroud
haven't
hype.
yet
Yes.
on any platform, and I've been
Yeah.
waiting to
Yes.
talk about it. I understand the debate for CJ Stroud here. I really do. I feel like a lot of it comes from the fact that he's a rookie, though, and it really gives him a little bit of a nudge up more than he should.
Yeah.
Now, would he still be in the conversation if he wasn't a rookie? Yes. Would he be getting it over some of these other guys if he wasn't a rookie? I don't think so. And that shouldn't be a factor in this discussion. Now, Stroud is amazing. And I'm saying this even before the draft. There is no quarterback. I started really getting deep into draft classes in 2020, the Joe Burrow draft class. I have never seen a quarterback in college better at getting the ball from point A to precisely on the money point B in my life in college. I have never seen a quarterback that is better than Stroud at that. His ability to just get it right where he needs to is spectacular. Spectacular. 100%. And it's shown in the NFL. It absolutely has. Now, the big gripe with Stroud in pre-draft was his ability to operate under pressure. Now, you watch him play, you would be surprised that I'm even saying that, because it's he's one of the best
people
quarterbacks
watched the
in the
Georgia
pocket.
game. He navigated very well in Georgia against Georgia.
Exactly. And I think it says a lot about Bobby Slowick, because he has made it so that Georgia game, instead of being the one outlier, it has become the new normal.
Yeah.
For CJ Stroud. And I think that says a lot about this coaching staff. That says a lot about Bobby Slowick. And I think all the hype that people are giving towards the CJ Stroud for MVP case should be replicated in the Bobby Slowick for Assistant Coach of the Year case.
Yeah.
And it should also be replicated in the D'Amico Ryans for Coach of the Year case that for some reason no one's talking about. CJ Stroud is playing out of his mind. CJ Stroud is playing ridiculous football. I am not denying that in the slightest. Would I give him MVP, though? Maybe it changes with one more week of a ridiculous performance. But no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. Because I think a lot of it is the coaching staff. A lot of it. And he still is playing out of his mind. I'm still saying he's a top 7 quarterback in this league. I would still probably have him ahead of Trevor Lawrence, which I know that's a little bit of a controversy.
That's a little hot takey, but I don't hate it.
That's how I truly feel. But would I say he's the MVP? No, because I feel like there's one player that adds more value to his team, and it's number 8 in the purple. Lamar Jackson, man. What Lamar Jackson is doing. All this talk about Lamar Jackson being a running back. Lamar Jackson's a running back. I know it stopped after he won the first MVP, but he still did it a lot because he was running the ball well. Now he's doing it from the pocket. He is having just what he is doing in the pocket, just what he is doing as a passer is enough for him to be in the MVP conversation. And then you add his running ability on top of that. And then you add his ability to just stand in the pocket
for 14 seconds, running around, juking 4 defenders, and then throwing a ball. Touchdown. It's absurd. It is absurd. And while Stroud is making these throws with anticipation, and he's reading the defense the right way, and he's not turning the ball over, that's great. But the most valuable player is the player that will do some ridiculous feats just with his physical ability. All right? Stroud has it mentally. What Stroud is doing mentally is the reason that he is in this MVP discussion. But Lamar Jackson is pairing that mental ability with game-breaking, not just good physical ability, but game-breaking physical ability. So I think if you throw the fact that CJ Stroud is a rookie aside, which I think you should for the MVP debate, I choose to give it to Lamar Jackson. I really do. Because Lamar Jackson is playing ridiculous football on the best team in the AFC.
I think one disclaimer for MVP. We know it goes to a team that is really, really good. Like at the end of the regular season, this team should be like, yeah, this team's going to go win the Super Bowl in a few weeks, right? Lamar fits that bill. CJ Stroud doesn't. If you're going to give it to a rookie, I think my criteria would be you'd have to break every single passing record, touchdowns, yards, completion percentage, everything like that, everything that matters. You would also have to be a team in top 3 seeds, which the Texans aren't going to be, right? So I think the CJ Stroud conversation is great for offensive rookie of the year, and I think he's going to run away with the award.
Yes.
I don't think it works for MVP. You mentioned Lamar. Lamar, I would assume would be the betting favorite as it stands right now. Lamar or Jalen, I think would be top 1 or 2. The thing with Lamar, I wonder if statistically he's had a few not bad weeks, but he's had not including Thursday night game. The week 2 weeks before statistically weren't his best games, and we all know that this is kind of heavily influenced by the second half of the season. Jalen again kind of fits the criteria of great team, going to be a top 2 seed. They're going to be the 1 seed. Let's be real here, and I do think that again they're another team that they're going to run the ball a lot to DeAndre Swift. But I think Jalen probably has a little bit of a better shot just because I think he's going to have more passing yards because A.J. Brown is ridiculous. Let me throw one guy out there for you, and I want to hear your reaction. And I said this before the year, and it's so far aged really well. If he ends the year with 2,000 receiving yards, why shouldn't Tyreek Hill get MVP votes?
Well, I think the fact that they haven't won big games.
Okay.
I really do think that is a part of it. Also, A.J. Brown and him are still like having ridiculous seasons together, right? It's
True.
no longer. I know Tyreek Hill started the season stronger, but A.J. Brown recently has been better. I think if you're willing to throw Tyreek Hill into that discussion, why not throw A.J. Brown into that discussion?
I think you're right. I think you're absolutely correct about A.J. Brown as well. And I will ask you this. Either one of them, say either one of them gets 2,000 yards. This league has never had a wide receiver win MVP. It's never happened. We've had a kicker win MVP. I mean, we've had, a defensive tackle win MVP. We've never had a wide receiver win MVP. Would this be basically the best chance the league has ever had to see a wide receiver win MVP if they eclipse 2,000 yards?
I don't think so. I really don't. I think because even though they're receivers, I understand that. I feel like their quarterback is also in this discussion for both teams.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts is in the discussion. Tua's in the discussion. So who's the real more valuable player? Who is the real most valuable player? Because it's not like we're seeing Tua throw like noodle arm passes and Tyreek Hill has to go, really off his route in order to catch it. And then he jukes a defender right after and then runs into the end zone. Like, no, that's not what's happening. It is Tyreek is getting the ball in stride. A.J. Brown is getting the ball in stride. Although A.J. Brown has made some plays.
A.J. Brown made some of those catches.
A.J. Brown made some of those plays all by himself. Like
I wouldn't say noodle arm. Jalen just like, hey, bro, just go get it.
Yeah.
Just throws it up and then
But
AJ.
the thing that prevents a receiver from winning it is catching the ball. A play where a receiver really shines, it's a group effort. And I know all plays in football are a group effort, but it's more of a group effort, right? These other guys, when I think of an MVP, I think of a player that will 1v11 the opposing team. I see Lamar Jackson doing that. I guess at times I see Stroud doing that. A receiver can't do that.
Yeah.
It's really impossible. And listen, I know it sucks. I know it's not the answer anyone wants to hear. I know everyone wants to hear, oh, yeah, we could have an O-lineman win MVP. We could have a tight end win MVP. Like, I know that's what everyone wants to hear, but that's just not the case. It isn't an award a receiver should be able to win.
Yeah.
Now, it would be different if, let's say someone had, a Larry Fitzgerald. 2006, the year where he went off in the playoffs. Let's say someone did that for an entire season. Sure. Because if it is a team that is 100% only operating through that receiver, then I get it. But I don't think that's what's happening with Tyreek and A.J. Brown. And this isn't a knock on them. They're phenomenal players. But being a receiver and making a big play as a receiver is too much of a combined effort for me to want to give it to them.
I like that line of thinking because you think of running backs. Like running backs could get the ball and just juke everybody, right? They could run through everybody, juke everybody, and we've seen running backs win MVP. It seemed a lot more frequent in years past, but I get it. I was just thinking because if we have a guy who is on one of the best teams and he's the first historic 2,000-yard receiver, I thought that I think he'll get votes. I think definitely Tyreek would get votes, but I think you're right. It's too much of a quarterback. Let's call it what it is. It's too much of a quarterback league, right? And the game is too dependent on Lamar or Jalen or Tua or CJ or Mahomes to make the plays, distribute the ball, make good decisions than it is with the receiver. So I agree. Your pick would be Lamar. I think my pick would probably be. I would go back and forth between Lamar or Jalen. It's so hard. It's so hard for me to pick those guys.
Well, how about this for something that makes the difference? You said it yourself. AJ Brown is at least in this discussion.
He's in the discussion for sure. Yep.
Who does Lamar have that's in this discussion?
Ooh. Can't say Mark Andrews.
Yeah, no, you can't. Well, even if Mark Andrews was fully healthy, he's playing well, not to the extent that AJ Brown is. So maybe that's the debate that really makes you favor Lamar here.
That's true. Then again, that would also make the case for Mahomes. Well, Mahomes is not having a Mahomes year.
The offense, the Chiefs' offense itself hasn't been too good. They've been a better defense than they've been offensively.
Yeah, which is crazy. But a guy who, if they were winning more, I'd put in here. I'd put Justin Herbert in there. But
yeah, well, when they win, it is all him.
And when they lose, it's all him. Do you see the Detroit game? I mean, he was marching down the field, and it's just like. But I understand it shouldn't be a part of the conversation, but it is the wins and how good you are. And the Chargers might not even make the playoffs. So
I think it should be a part of the conversation. I definitely think it should. If someone is the most valuable player, their value alone should win the team enough games to make the playoffs. No, I don't think you have to be a top 3 seed, but if you're an MVP, you are making sure your team at least makes the playoffs.
Yeah, that's probably fair. I don't hate that. So those are some of our MVP picks, our Super Bowl picks. We talked about Joe Burrow. Is there anything that you want to end off this beautiful recording session with? You can go ahead and plug your own. I know you're starting up your channel soon. You got the podcast going. If you want to plug that, you go right ahead. I'll make sure to link it down below. So whatever you say, I'll go ahead and find the links for it and slide it down below.
Yeah, so this guy just gave out a little teaser for my future plans. I am planning on starting up a YouTube channel soon. I wish I could give you guys the info for that, but I haven't made it yet. So
yeah,
sorry.
He's still cooking. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still cooking.
Yeah.
But if you want to follow me on my other platforms, I have a TikTok, No Huddle NFL. It's right there. You see it, unless you cut that out. I don't know if you're getting rid of that.
No. You go ahead. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Cool. So yeah, it's right there. No Huddle NFL. No capitals and no spaces. Also available on Instagram. I haven't really been posted there too much because, well, I really think my platform is better for these other, mediums of content like TikTok, like Twitter. Follow me there at No Huddle NFL with an underscore at the end. I post there constantly. Like if you really want updates on what I'm doing, updates on what I'm thinking, NFL wise, just more content, more expert analysis, check it out there. I beg of you, and you will love it. If you like football, you like my Twitter post. That is an indisputable fact.
I can vouch. That's facts. Yeah.
And then my main thing, my podcast what am I saying? The Goal Line Podcast, available on Spotify. The Space Goal Space Line Podcast. Very simple. Yep. I've been posting there twice a week now. So big thing. I have guests on constantly. I've had Mike on in the past. I now have co-hosts I've been rotating between. And 2 times a week, analysis of the games on Tuesday morning, and then I post predictions for next week's games on Thursdays.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really advise that you check that out. About an hour 30 every episode. Expert analysis yet again. Thank you for having me on, Mike. I absolutely loved coming on here.
Of course, bro. We got to see it. We got to do this again sometime. Maybe we'll do an end of the season. Who's winning the Super Bowl now that we know all 14 playoff teams type of thing. Hopefully my Seahawks defensive line is a little bit better. So yeah, you don't shit on him next time we hang out. But good having you on, bro. And then I'll catch you later.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. I'll see you.